Right, and quite literally, if you saw this live, you see how quick of a break that we just took. In fact, I'm already spending more time explaining how quick that break was than the amount of time we took in that break.
And before we start the semifinals, I just wanted to mention here, Star Wars X-Wing was the other one that was rated number 6. It only got 1 vote, as well as Game of Thrones, the board game, was the other one. So the number 6 pan vote are all eliminated.
There we go. So going into this next one, we have, after reseeding, Mansions of Madness versus Cosmic Encounter. Now, I know which one I like better of the games. I like them both. I know which one I like a lot better, but I feel that
I know which one you like a lot better, too.
I'm pretty sure it's going to get eliminated right here and now, because the other game just has that much more going.
All the categories itself, the way we break this down, I'm sorry, Cosmic Encounters, just, it doesn't hold up against something like Mansions of Madness.
Right. Whereas, like, Cosmic Encounter can go against Star Wars X-Wing, because it's basically a collectible game that's fairly straightforward. But Mansions of Madness, I mean, that immersion, I don't think we have to debate it too much, to be honest with you.
So, let's just go through our breakdown here. Easily is Cosmic Encounters. Cosmic Encounters is such a simple game to play.
Yep. I mean, not to say that Mansions isn't, but the fact that they have the puzzles in there...
Yeah,
oof.
And
that jumps it up.
It takes a little while. Yeah, when you go into, say, replay value, Mansions of Madness.
Right.
As
the campaign value.
Infinite expandable that Cosmic Encounters is, because there's so many freaking
right. Yeah. They have thousands of combinations of aliens that you can do, whereas Eldritch Horror, or I'm sorry, not Eldritch Horror, Mansions of Madness has an obscene amount of ability to expand because of the storyline.
Yeah, and just the app, you don't even need to add more stuff.
Yeah.
If you just add more campaigns that work with the maps that you already have.
Yeah, and even the maps get randomly generated sometimes too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Replay value goes to Mansions.
Meaningful choice. This to me is where it's a bit of a wash.
Yes. No, I would still give it to Cosmic. And that's because you really are impacting other players, the negotiation that's involved with it, how well you use your attacks, how well you can convince people to go to your side to attack other players. Whereas in Mansions of Madness, it's way more immersive, because I do think it's Mansions of Madness is hands down going to get immersion. I do feel that you do still make quite a few arbitrary choices. On top of dice rolling for combat, on top of you don't know what's behind the door, on top of you don't technically know where you need to go to finish the story, or what you even need to do.
But the problem with that, when you're saying you don't know what's behind the door, but that's the part of the game. That's an important part of the game. If you hear a random noise behind the door, your choice is, do you open that door and unleash whatever is back there? Maybe it's a dog, or maybe it's a hell dog. So,
right. But since you don't know enough of it...
Arbitrary choice. But that doesn't make it an arbitrary choice. You just have to make a decision. Do we want to open this door or not to find out what's in there? Because there may be something important that we need as we're going through. You have an end goal that you keep saying that you just don't know, but you kind of do know. In Mansions of Madness, if you just play the first scenario, and it's not spoiler alert, your end goal is to find out why you're trapped in that house. Yep. That's what you're working. So you want to open these doors to get the clues and stuff like that. So it's not an arbitrary choice in that matter.
It's more so than how you approach a battle, as far as in Cosmic Encounter.
And that's why I'm saying, that's fine. But it's also, for me, it's a wash in that aspect, because you're putting more onus on the fact that you can jump in on someone else's fight. Whereas in the co-op part of it, you can impact other players. If you unleash that Hell Demon and say, let's just put my buddy Bryce right there, it could attack him first, because once it happens and you got to go into the Mythos phase, it goes to a certain player. And if it attacks Bryce first, your decision to open that door screwed over your partner.
But I feel like approaching the battle system in Cosmic Encounter, though, is still really important. Like, even from an outsider, you have a choice to... You have 3 choices not even being part of the battle yet. You could choose to battle, yes or no, or you can sit out and be pacifist, or if you do battle, are you going to add to the defense and help sway that, or are you going to add to the attack?
I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but what you're arguing, though, is that this is the arbitrary choice in Mansions of Madness. It's not an arbitrary choice in that game.
No, I'm just saying that choice adds more to the feel of the game, which is why I say it's more immersive. Because you're right. I mean, it's like, oh, well, I hear a strong rustling noise behind the door. That could either be, I know in my mind, hey guys, this is either going to be really good or really bad. It's probably nothing, but it could really suck, and that is a meaningful choice. But that's more immersion, because technically, if I just go to a door, since I don't know whether it's good or bad, I could make the choice by flipping a coin, and that would technically fulfill the same outcome.
No, and this is why I have an argument against it. I played the first scenario a couple times. I did one thing in one gameplay, and it worked out for me because I got it something I need. I ignored that same thing just to check it out. And because I didn't have that piece, I couldn't do something else that I needed to do in the game to get another piece. And that's not an arbitrary choice. You have to make the decision to talk to someone.
Yeah, but you only know that after the choice is made.
After the fact. But see, that's the thing.
It's hindsight.
You're arguing the fact that Cosmic encountered choices because that's all you do. What you're negating the fact with a storytelling game, you have to make these choices for these things to expand the universe. If you don't do something, you're not telling the full story. Yes.
Fine, we'll call it a wash. At best.
At best.
At best. Replay value. Although immersion, I think we agree.
Immersion, yeah.
It goes...
And that, again, that goes to the fact that it is a storytelling game itself.
Right. So we have right now ease of play, Cosmic, art and production and immersion, both Eldritch Horror. And then meaningful choices a wash. So that goes down to replay value. Minimum number of plays for full experience. I mean, yeah. And although Cosmic has the player range.
Pretty much tied there. So,
yeah.
Because
Cosmic has player range and scale, but additional content, Mansions of Madness, yeah.
Yeah, just because the app is...
So my begrudging assumption was correct. Mansions of Madness did beat it out.
And I think a big part of it too, we knew Cosmic Encounters wasn't going to go past this because of the game immersion itself.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt it in the long run. And the art production too. Because we had design in there, that app's designed to go with the game hurts anything that goes up against it.
Yeah. All right, cool.
So our next round is Eldritch Horror versus Lord of the Rings, Journey to Middle-earth.
I'll take Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know you will. I was going to say, even if Eldritch Horror goes along and you go through everything here like we did with Cosmic Encounters, that app is going to hurt Eldritch Horror.
Yes. And production-wise.
And it's going to hurt it right here because Lord of the Rings has that same app system.
Yep, I agree. And they're both cooperative games.
Yeah.
But one is storytelling. And one is campaign driven.
I'm just going to go ahead and go through our 5 list here for Eldritch Horror and see what you say. Ease of play and replayability, or ease of play, sorry, I got to take out that replayability because it was an old.
Right. Because we have a replay value.
Simplicity and familiarity of the mechanism. Unfortunately, I have to get this to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. No, I agree.
They're both co-ops. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But there's a lot more involved in Eldritch Horror when it comes to the co-op. Do I take this ticket? Do I set up for this? Do I do this? Do I do that? Lord of the Rings is, do I go explore over there or do I fight this thing over here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah.
And then likelihood of getting it to the table.
Initial, that's going to go to Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Just because of the theme. And a lot of people don't like H.P. Lovecraft. Not because the books are bad, just because of who he is as a person, so they refuse to play his games.
Right. And
based off of his lore.
If you're comparing Lovecraft versus Tolkien, no, there's not. There's why even compare at that point?
Well, but I'm just saying, that is a valid argument. There are people who legitimately not play Arkham Horror or Arkham H.P. Lovecraft lore stories because of H.P. Lovecraft's personal beliefs.
Yeah, one of our mutual friends definitely stands by that. He really dislikes H.P. Lovecraft as a person.
And I don't disagree with him. I really don't disagree with him. H.P. Lovecraft was a sick human being.
Yeah. Whereas, like, if we take Tolkien, for example, the choice that you do is whether you like fantasy or not. Like,
Yeah,
my wife
that's all
doesn't
it
like
is.
fantasy, so she wouldn't care. She
Yeah.
wouldn't want to do this. But she also probably wouldn't do H.P. Lovecraft either. Maybe because she likes horror more than fantasy, but I mean that's yeah, that is the choice. It's like, do you go with the person who invented fantasy more or less, or someone who is just kind of a good horror writer? you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And
So
don't get
ease
me
of
wrong, I
play.
like the H.P. Lovecraft books, but man, they are his, and I'm just gonna say his blatant racism comes out in those books.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, which is sad.
Yeah,
Ease of
and
play.
AP prone that easily with the replay value, we're already giving it to Lord of the Rings, but the AP prone Eldritch Horror can lead to AP prone a lot easier than Journey to Middle Earth.
Yeah, yep. So that's a full out Lord of the Rings ease of play.
Yeah,
All right, art and production. I feel we should definitely put towards Lords of the Ring.
I
Lord of the
agree
Rings.
with the art and production goes to Lord of the Rings, and I'll tell you why. The minis. And
Yep.
just the flat out minis themselves hurt Eldritch Horror. And again, we're arguing against a game that came out a lot later than the other games. So minis is the rage for the last, I don't know, since what, 2017
Right.
is when minis really blew up. Whereas at the time when Eldritch Horror came out, standees were fine. Everybody loved standees.
Yeah, standees
But,
were fine, but I
yeah,
mean,
but
the Fantasy Flight could have done standees, but they chose to go the extra mile to justify it.
and it's not just that we're talking art and production, correct?
Yes.
The art to me itself is a wash because they're both very, very well done.
Yeah.
The only difference is, do you want one that's darker? And I understand why Eldritch Horror is darker because it's a darker theme,
Yep.
and one that's brighter because it's Lord of the Rings, so it's going to be a bit more brighter. You're going to be outside, so that to me is a bit of a wash right
Sure,
there.
but the design with the app.
The design with the app, yeah,
Yep.
the integration. If they redid Eldritch Horror, made a third edition, and again they did the app for the Mythos phase and stuff like that, it'd probably work amazing.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk meaningful choices. Meaningful choices is definitely going to Eldritch, because
Yeah, I would say that because of, and this is where the app will hurt Lord
Right.
of the Rings. You don't know exactly what's going on. You know for a fact your choice here is going to affect this.
yeah,
You know for a fact you don't want to send your researcher to go fight Cthulhu's minions. You want to send your guy with the pistol or the shotgun.
and there was one thing when I was playing this originally. One of our mutual friends, he pointed something out to me when we were playing Lord of the Rings. As far as meaningful choices, he was like, "Oh yeah, the bandits." And this is in the first scenario. You have to find some bandits. He was like, "Well, this is a really long path this way," and he was just taking out. He was metagaming it in a way. He was like, This is a really long path. In my experience with almost every fantasy, the longer the path for something as simple of a task, you're going in the wrong direction. It's like there's probably something near the beginning, or you're going to have to return to the beginning for it to matter." And sure enough, and that's not true for every time because the maps are changed, but he
Yeah.
was spot on with that, 100% with that. And so we, like, that was an arbitrary choice, and had him not needing to meta, we would have all gone down the wrong path, as every fantasy trope would have had you do. And so meaningful choices definitely goes to
Eldritch.
Eldritch. Yeah.
And so what does that leave?
Replay and immersion.
So replay, this is going to be, I think, has to go to Lord of the Rings, and this is just for two reasons. Minimum number of plays for full experience, I think, is going to be a wash because there's so much expansions. You're not going to see every card in
Right.
Eldritch Horror. And, of course, the app for Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
But when it comes to expandability, that's as many of Eldritch Horror expansions there are. Again, same reason with Mansions of Madness. The app integration just makes it infinite, where you could just play different scenarios and different things are going on.
Right.
That you can't do that yet, and I'll explain that why when it goes up against another game, because we both know which one's going on now.
Right.
Just by the way it goes here.
And replay value too. I mean, like, the number of players, or the player range versus scale. Eldritch Horror, no matter how many players you have, is going to be pretty long.
It's going to be a long game.
Yeah.
We could play Lord of the Rings with, let's say, 4 players. We can get it done in 2 hours.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
And
Eldritch Horror, 3 players, 2 players could take 3 hours. So.
Yep. And so replay value, I feel, goes to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so
And now
we're gonna have.
let's briefly discuss Immersion real quick because they're both heavily thematic. Do you feel the fact that everybody's active, like they all know what their goal is in Eldritch Horror? In your opinion, do you feel that that is more immersive than the not knowing the tiles, but the storyline is exploration? That's the point of Lord of the Rings. Which do you feel is more immersive?
Truthfully,
Yeah.
Eldritch Horror, and here's why. Uh, your decisions are running the game, so we know who the big bad is. We know what we don't want done. We know we have to do these goals. How do we get to that point? And to me, that's why it feels so immersive. Because again, when you're playing Lord of the Rings, as immersive it is, and it is an exploration game, the app is telling you the story. You're not making the story.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't disagree with that then. Cool.
Interacting with other players, again, co-op, they're pretty much the same there. And memorable moments, again, I played one game of Lord of the Rings, and I remember it. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I want to buy it. And as you can tell over here, if you notice, I have 2 boxes of Eldritch Horror. That's because I got a lot of the expansions, and you need 2 boxes to hold everything.
Yeah. And I feel like going into it is Lord of the Rings versus Mansions of Madness. I feel like we've had this argument before.
No, we have not.
Haven't we? Because these are basically the same thing.
Has made it into the finals before, but Mansions of Madness has never. I don't think we've ever argued Mansions of Madness, nor has it ever made it this far.
Okay, because they are very similar games.
Ah, that's what it was. It was back in our IP debate when it was novels, and we just had the same argument: Lord of the Rings versus Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch Horror, nice, yeah. Did Lord of the Rings go on in that one as well?
Yes, because it actually went on to face Horrified in the IP Overall Championship.
Alright, so then now, going into the finals, we have Mansions of Madness, our number 1 seed.
Versus number 4 seed, Lord of the Rings Journey to Middle-earth. Sorry, I was actually looking at our IP novels, and I was noticing Mansions of Madness was not on this list.
Oh, wow, okay. It must have been based off of someone else.
But mind you, it might have been bumped because of, say, something like Eldritch Horror and Arkham Horror.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, we had too many. Well, this will be definitely an interesting finale. You see, even my dog is excited about this. And so we're going to go into it. We're going to take a very quick pause, and then we will be ready for the finale.